Imagine a country where the gap between the richest and the poorest is so vast that just 3 individuals possess more wealth than 26 million of their fellow citizens. This is not a tale from a distant land. It's the stark reality in South Africa, a nation grappling with economic and social challenges. Welcome to The Proof, powered by Africa Check, where we dissect the facts behind the headlines. Today, we're unpacking the Economic Freedom Fighters' 2024 election manifesto, a document that lays bare the harsh realities facing South Africans. Join us as we separate fact from fiction, shedding light on the claims and uncovering the truth behind the statistics. Welcome back. On today's episode, Keegan Leach, a researcher at Africa Check, joins me now. Thanks for joining me, Keegan.
Hi, Darshan. It's a pleasure to be here.
The Economic Freedom Fighters, an opposition party in South Africa, asserted that the country's 3 wealthiest individuals have more wealth than the poorest 26 million South Africans. Now, this is a really staggering statistic. So is there any truth to this claim?
It's very difficult to calculate exactly how much wealth a person owns in South Africa. However, experts confirm that the claim is accurate, highlighting the massive wealth inequality in the country.
Wow. I think many of our viewers will need some time to digest that. Now, the manifesto also mentioned that the country averages 20,000 murders a year, as well as a degrading sanitation system of bucket toilets. Was Africa Check able to substantiate these claims?
Yes, we confirmed that these claims are accurate. Over the past 10 years, about 20,000 murders were committed annually, and around 150,000 households still use bucket toilets.
Now let's look at the EFF's claim that 80% of the South Africa's population live on less than 10% of the country's land. What did the fact check reveal about this assertion?
Just as we did in 2019, we found that this claim is incorrect. There is a massive disparity in land ownership in South Africa, but the figures that the EFF used are out of date and misleading.
Now, land ownership is a source of major contention in South Africa. Regarding the claim that 30 years down the line, 80% of the land is in the hands of whites, what did the fact check reveal about this statement?
We rated this claim incorrect. As with the previous land claim, there is a massive disparity in land ownership, but the EFF's figures are incorrect.
Now, Keegan, let's stay with the land conversation. There's also another claim that there are no white people in informal settlements. How did the fact check address this claim?
We found that this claim was incorrect. While there are some issues with the available data, it's safe to say that there are some white people living in informal settlements.
All right, Keegan, let's take a break here. The EFF's manifesto is a weighty one, and we'll try to get as many claims as we can in today's episode. When we come back, let's dive into claims about poverty in South Africa and whether or not anything has changed since the African National Congress came into power about 30 years ago. More after the break.
Hi, my name is Haley and I am the Deputy Chief Editor at Africa Check. As we get closer to national elections in South Africa, we have noticed an old rumor circulating on social media again. The claim is that if you don't vote, your vote is automatically assigned to the ruling ANC. This is simply not true. In South Africa, we have an electoral act that determines how votes are counted, and there is no mention of votes automatically being assigned to the ruling party if a registered voter doesn't end up voting. But let's assume for a second, hypothetically, that the scenario could be true. We know that there were around 9 million registered voters who didn't turn up at the polls in 2019. If these 9 million votes were automatically credited to the ANC, it would have seen their share of all the valid votes rise to an impossible 110%. But if the claim were true, it would also make sense or be in the best interests of the ANC to have people not vote, and yet the party has been actively campaigning. They've been encouraging people to go out and vote. So this is an old rumor. It has been doing the rounds for around a decade. It was false in 2014, it was false in 2019, and it is still false in 2024. The IEC has confirmed this. So if you see this claim on your timeline, ignore it, report it, tell the person who shared it that it is false, and visit www.africacheck.org for more election debunks.
Thank you for staying with us. This is The Proof, powered by Africa Check. Now, under the spotlight today is the manifesto of South African opposition party, the Economic Freedom Fighters. The country has what is looking like the most competitive elections in years, which is slated for May 29, 2024. Now, we've been x-raying the party's manifesto with Africa Check's researcher, Keegan Leach. Keegan, let's pick up from where we left off. Another claim from the manifesto is that poverty is worse than it was 30 years ago. Was there evidence to support this assertion?
I'll have to correct you there. This claim comes from the party's manifesto launch speech, not its manifesto. However, we've rated it unproven. This means that there is neither data to prove nor disprove the claim. There are studies showing that poverty has fallen since 1994, but there's nothing to directly compare 1994 and 2024.
In his manifesto launch speech, Julius Malema stated that nothing has changed since 1994 when the ruling African National Congress came into power. Now, the ANC has been leading the country since then. What did your investigation into this claim find?
We didn't directly check this claim. We checked several of the claims that Malema made to support this statement, some of which we've already covered.
Now, finally, before I let you go, Keegan, the EFF stated that joblessness in South Africa today sits at more than 15 million people who are capable of working. How did the facts check out?
This claim is also incorrect. While unemployment is a huge issue, the numbers cited by the EFF aren't confirmed by any official unemployment data.
Well, thank you so much for providing insights into these claims and for joining me on today's episode, Keegan.
It's a pleasure to be here.
South Africa's Independent Electoral Commission says over 27.79 million voters, the highest since the dawn of democracy in South Africa, are eligible to cast their votes in the 2024 national and provincial elections. It's crucial to fact-check political statements to ensure accuracy and inform public discourse, especially when they're connected to situations like elections. Now, if you have comments or a claim you want us to fact-check, tweet at AfricaCheck_NG. Follow News Central on our social media platforms. We are at News Central TV. And you can check out our website. It's www.newscentral.africa. Stay informed, stay vigilant. Until next time, I'm Darshan Usman, signing out.